everybody, Mike Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer Hobby Supply, and we're going to do update 4 of ACT3, and as you notice, it's sounding a little echoey in here, if echoey is a word, but it is echoey in here, in my language. So let's take a look and see what's happening. Okay, we've already talked about this, there's no sense in rehashing that. I haven't got around to doing anything yet except using my square and making the line here where I need to cut this and bring this in. That's it. I have cleaned out the top of this. Another thing I haven't addressed, and I think I questioned it in the other videos, one of the other videos, is what to do with this window. And I honestly just haven't figured anything out. But my guess is when I take this backdrop down, I'm thinking about putting some kind of a masonite backdrop there that screws onto the wall that just looks like a access plate. And then on the inside of that, I'm going to put track back in there and make a diorama out of that from the outside. At least that's the game plan. At least make use of the little window I have on the outside. So that is a plan as of this moment, and plans change like crazy. But what I want to do here is try and back up a little bit. I got all the floor cleaned up. I got most of the crates out of here, most of the boxes, put them out in one of the sheds. All I have is these boxes over here, which are, as you guys know, are my cars and locomotives and galvanized boxes to take out to the fairgrounds. The little brown cardboard box has the Walther's DCC turntable in it, which I definitely would like to get rid of, but I don't know even what to ask for it or anything. But anyways, it's not in too good a shape. It's taken a little bit of a beating. So let's get back to this. As you can see by here, you can see that I've taken the lower shelf out, which is up there. And like I said, that will be cut down or whatever I need to do to it and reused as a shelf once again. And I guess we can walk down this way. Again, without the stringers in there, you can see that I've just taken an awful lot of wire and stuff out of here. I've also removed all the existing stringers. However, the marks are all still here, and the holes are all still pre-drilled to put new stringers in at 36 inches. I've got to do obviously corner stringers. We've talked about that already. But like I said, it's sounding a little empty in here, and the floor is cleaned up pretty good. I don't know whether I'm going to try and replace these floors or just give them a good mopping again and get them cleaned up, or pull up the tiles and take them out and pressure wash them. I just don't know what to do. But I think I guess the thing is they're already shaped to the shape of the room, so leaving them I don't think is a big issue. I may have to cut a couple along there, but I do have some extra tiles underneath, but behind that cabinet over there I've got 2 or 3 or 4. So I may just go ahead and live with the tile like it is. The rubber tiles is what I'm talking about. My DCC system will go back onto that little pedestal there where it was. Seems like it was a good place for it. Back here, now that I've got this off, I can show you. This is my cable panel I was telling you about to get this cable around to the other side of the layout, and there's another cable that goes down the other end that I told you is wadded up in a knot down there. I still have a few power supplies plugged in down here for some unknown reason. I probably should have taken those out and get them out of the way, but I think everything's pretty much out of the way. But without the stringers on here, you can see how wobbly this is. But once you get the stringers on there, it makes a really, really solid base. I've had a lot of guys posting in the comment section. My stringers are on 16-inch centers. I'm going to use 1-inch foam. I know there's going to be complainers. We've been using 1-inch foam at the fairgrounds, and it works fine. There's no issues whatsoever. once you get scenery on top of 1-inch foam, it's as hard as a rock. And I'm planning on using Woodland Scenics 2% and 3% risers. The 3% will only be used to get down to the to ground zero, which will be the yard and stuff down here in the front. I'm hoping to use them anyway. Years ago, when I had the layout the first time, I had this here mirror. And this mirror is once again going to come in handy. I need to get up there and clean it while I got a chance. But anyway, as you can see, if I look in that mirror, I can see what's happening. I don't know where I'm at. Down in here. You know, I can see down in here. So that the track that's going to be up against the back here, I'll be able to see what's happening. Another thing that I don't know if I've discussed with you guys is that this back track, of course, is going to be elevated. You already know that. It's going to be 5 to 6 inches high, depending on how high I can get without being too dramatic with my inclines. But behind that, I'm planning on putting a 3D mountain. Maybe a ½ inch off of the, well, you saw those stringers that were over there behind the other mountain. I'm going to use that type of thing here, and I'm going to step it out and probably use masonite and then build something onto the masonite that's relatively steep. But that will be textured and stuff. And then in front of those, there'll be another one that sticks up. And that will be a partial view block in places. So you'll see some track, then there'll be a view block hill with a cut. Then it'll go along, and then there might be a little tiny short tunnel that's maybe 6 or 7 inches long. I don't know, long enough that I can get a car out of there if I have a derailment. But there again, I'll be able to see anything that happens in that mirror right up there that's always been here. So anyway, that elevated track will be only partially showing as it meanders its way down. The second track down is going to be at 3 inches, and of course it will have that scenery behind it with the next scenery level behind it, and then it'll have scenery coming down into the ground zero level, which will be the town area. And I plan on putting quite a few trees on that, spreading my trees out up and down this, just like I did with the trees on the mountain over there. Not real thick, but, you know, convincing. So, anyway, let me take I did a track plan, I redid a picture of the track plan on the new track plan, and I'm going to let you take a look at it. Okay, I've got the camera on a tripod, and I'm going to just kind of go over the track plan here and try and work around the camera. As you guys can see, this is a Kato turntable. The extension tracks, the roundhouse, the Kato roundhouse. I may or may not use it. I'm not sure. Depends on whether I can get one, actually. 2 tracks onto the table. This will be a caboose track. This track will run through the yard and exit here and go around. And this track dead ends over here. And this track is nothing more than a run out for the tracks on ground zero. They will go under this track. This track right here should be about 3.5 inches tall, high, maybe even 4 inches right here, and probably about 3 inches here, or a little more, about 3.5 here. So I can get under there. There'll be a tunnel portal. This will be kind of a big dip, hills, and anyway, these industry tracks really don't mean anything right now, simply because I don't know what kind of industries will go there. So those will likely change in the future. We obviously have a 4-track yard, one of them being a through track, I hope. If we go back to the mainline track, let's go ahead and talk about the mainline track first. As you can see, my high point is probably going to be right up in here, the 5.5 or 6 inches. Drop down to 5 inches at this siding level, all the way down here. This siding will be a level track. I found out never put a siding on a slope. So that will be 5 inches for sure. Sorry about that. This one here will be at 3 inches. And of course this will be 3 inches up to whatever level I can get to here, and then back down to 5 inches. 5 inches to here, and then drop down to about 2.5 inches over in here or so. Not really sure. We'll see how that works out. And that'll be relatively level around here. This will still be on an incline here. This will be relatively level around here. This reverse section right here will be going downhill. Then your mainline track is actually on the outside right here, goes down and under these two lines, which this is another reverse section in the opposite direction. This track right here. The track will come back uphill at this point, up to the 3-inch level, and make the circuit again. So there's basically 1, 2, and 3 sidings. Sorry about that, I keep hitting the camera with my stupid arm, but it's hard working around it. But anyway, I increased the length of this siding and made this a double loop simply because I have to have a way to get in and out of the yard down here, and I need some space to put at least a train or another, you know, whatever trains on here, park some mainline trains on there. One at least, maybe 2 behind each other. The double crossover right here is required to get out of the yard and go to either one of these siding tracks and get back to the main line. The going down to ground zero will exit here and be on probably about a 2.5 to 3% down to this point. And there'll be a sensor, well actually the sensor's right back here, a sensor for the crossing gate here. There'll be a sensor right there for the crossing gate, and there'll be a sensor right in here for the crossing gate when you're in this siding servicing this industry, which this is Woods Furniture, by the way. This is going to be houses and kind of like a little mini town area, little buildings. This will be a depot. I forgot what, I think this is a box and crate factory. I don't remember what this building is right here, but you can see that I have a runaround here. So that I can, if I need to, I can run around here, get my other cars, push them into this way. I can work this siding here. I can come down here. There's another runaround right here. I can work this siding and this siding. So that should give me some, with the yard, a potential interchange track, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe even 6 if there's a team track or something there. And this one up here on the main line is 7, 8, 9, and possibly 10 different industries of some kind on the layout. And like I say, these are arbitrary right now because I don't really, this one is about the only one that's pretty concrete. The rest of them are kind of arbitrary until I figure out when I get the layout built what type of industry will go there. Obviously you can see the black is road. I'm not sure where it's going to go from here until I get that far. That'll be thought about in the future. This is a water tank, by the way, to service the yard here. Aside from that, that's the only really things I know that I'm going to have on here. I'm hoping to be able to put a river around the outside edge of this right here to give it kind of a reason for turning back. And give me an opportunity to do some water. So, as someone suggested, and I am extremely sorry that I don't remember, but someone suggested that I change my scale on my AnyRail program to represent 3-inch squares. So this one's on 3-inch squares, so you can obviously see that this is 36 inches out to the edge here. It's actually that little line right there. This one, this fascia is not quite on the 3-foot mark. I may cheat that a little bit, I don't know. You can see that this cheats it a little bit right here, and then someone asked me about this reach back here. And yes, there's a reach, but there's a curved corner here as well. So I don't have to reach all the way back to the very corner. This is an extremely large radius, pretty large radius. I think those are 28s and 18s. I don't know that, I don't remember. But nevertheless, they're pretty large. So all this track that's on these risers at this point up here is all the track I was talking about soldering when I talked about in the other videos. I want to make sure that that track all stays together and I don't have any humping, any track misalignment level-wise from section to section, so I'm going to make sure those are level and soldered. Of course, I will leave gaps along the way. I don't intend on soldering at the turnouts in case I got to take turnouts out and maybe even a piece back, but the majority of all this track will be soldered for no other reason than just to keep the track flat, that so I don't have any problems back there. Once all this track is achieved back here and runs properly, there's no problem reaching anything else here. So reaching stuff is really not an issue on here, as much as it looks like it might be here. A stool will get me there. I've already gone through that here. and it worked fine. So that being said, I guess that's about it for tonight, and I hope you guys enjoyed this update 4, and I guess that's about it. Okay, everybody, I guess you can see that we're just about ready to go here, and I guess, as the saying goes, thanks for watching.